Hey, how we doing, everybody?
Morning, guys.
So we're back with another episode of Succession
That's
here
right.
for you,
Kevin here.
Joe.
Hello.
The show is getting real, guys.
Only got four left.
We only have 4 episodes left. Uh, it's not going off the rails, but it's getting real. It's getting very crazy. There's a lot of tense stuff happening, man. I mean, like the whole Madsen situation
Sure.
is really, really coming to a boiling point.
Well, I feel like the main takeaway, obviously, from the last episode is Kendall took a big swing, and the writing was so good
Yeah,
because you're supposed to feel like
yeah.
Kendall's about to implode like he always does. I thought he was. You thought he was. The writing made it look like he was, and Kendall pulled a rabbit out of his hat in
Well,
that.
I was gonna say history has shown that he is the least clutch character of all time. We
That
can
was,
honestly say that.
and that is the most clutch thing he's ever done right there.
It was his big moment.
It
He
was.
had a moment to shine, and like obviously the people on this show suck.
Hmm.
One of my best friends, he just he hasn't spoiled it, but he just finished the show, and he was like, "I can't latch on to the show because I don't have any empathy for these characters."
I'm with him.
You know?
That's been my. I mean, I've loved the show.
Yeah.
But I also cannot latch on to the show to any of the characters.
Well, yeah, he was a little colder on than we are, obviously,
Sure, sure,
but he was like, "I just don't like it." He's like, "There's no humanity with these people," and
right.
I slightly disagree because I think the show does a great job of making you have a lot of empathy for these people because at the end of the day, they're all humans. Granted, they're evil human beings, but at the same time, like you find yourself caring. We find ourselves caring about Kendall. We're like, yes, Kendall did it.
Right.
And then you take a step back and you're like, oh, why do I don't like this guy? You
Right.
know?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you get those moments of humanity with all of them.
Sure.
And with the obvious exception of Logan,
Yeah.
with each of the characters, I found those moments of like, there's a person under here. Logan, I
Yeah.
didn't. I know
Yep.
there was, you point out, rightfully so,
Uh-huh.
the evidence that he was abused, that he went through some stuff.
Yeah.
I still, because he is he's such a gleeful monster. um
Yeah.
I never really found it. I never found it with him. I That was just me. Some people have said they do. I respect it. I get it.
Yeah.
But he's just, it's always his mistreatment of people is always turned up to 11, and it never stops.
Well, it's funny. Earlier today we watched Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And in
Right.
that episode they were like, "Oh, it's the universe's fault. We blame
Right.
our parents for all of
Right.
our
Right.
trauma." And it's like, no. At some point in time you have to take accountability. I mean, we all have pasts. All Everybody's life comes with baggage and
Right.
some sort of trauma.
Right. This is a beautiful episode.
It's how you handle that.
Right, the main song, "Nobody's responsible for anything."
Yeah.
Obviously, being tongue in cheek because we should be responsible for our actions, regardless of our excuses.
And in many
Um,
ways that's this show.
it is completely.
Succession is like childhood trauma, the show, you
Yeah.
know?
No. No. It really is. And the simple fact that none of the kids are able to say, you know what, Kendall kind of did once, but didn't follow through with it. Just saying, you know what, I'm selling my share of everything.
Yeah.
I'm taking this insane pile of money and I'm walking away from my own health. No,
They should have.
none of them can do it. None
Well,
none of them can.
they almost did.
They almost did, but there's no follow through. They couldn't.
That-
At the end of the day, they couldn't do it.
it goes to show that when power and unlimited money, mostly it's power. Mostly power.
It's power.
When power is involved, it's corrupting. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they have that in the face of them. Like when they have the chance to walk away and do their own thing, that little option of, oh, maybe we can buy it from dad. Maybe we can
Right.
compete with our father. That is always going to be there. And now that he's gone, they're still trying to chase that. They're still trying to run out of the shadow that he has cast over them. And it's
No, they're not. That's the problem. They're not trying to run out of the shadow.
well, well,
They're trying to be the shadow.
exactly.
You know what I
That's kind of
mean?
what I meant. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to come out of it and be their own like people at ATN, but wow, I can't talk. In order for them to do that, they're gonna have to walk away from ATN.
See,
They're
that's
gonna
what I
have to
agree with
start
that.
something else. You
I
know what I
agree
mean?
with that 100%. There is no walking away from your dad unless you get
Yes,
away from the toxic toy that was your dad's.
and
They're
that is
they're
what they
trying to
can.
be him.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what they're
exactly.
trying to do.
Yeah,
They're trying to take his place and be dad.
and the psychology of that is
You're not.
wow. You
And
know,
what sucks is there's nobody, because they're all surrounded by yes men and sycophants. There's nobody there to say, if you are ever going to be a complete and happy and full person, you need to just get out, walk away, and do your own thing.
well,
Because money's not a question, right?
the people that will tell them that they fired Roman
Right.
fired Jerry for that,
That's true.
and
Right.
even Carl. Well, Kendall didn't really give him any pushback, but Kendall's like, all right, gotcha, and that's kind of like the pep talk he needed to go on stage
It
and crush it.
works.
You know,
Yeah.
So they have a little bit of pushback, but they don't have that one person that's like, you need to end this.
Yeah, but all the pushback, including from Jerry and including from Carl, is about how does this affect, how is what you do going to affect me? Not about
Which is fair if you're the
no,
captain of the
no,
ship,
it certainly is, but no one's saying for you,
Yeah,
here's what you should do for your own good.
exactly.
No one said that. No one's gonna say that. Maybe Kendall's ex-wife, whose name I've forgotten because we haven't seen her in so
Rava.
long. Yeah, maybe she said it at some point a little bit. Um,
But when he was with her, he was obviously out of
Terrible.
his mind. He was
Right.
on
Yeah.
drugs, and he was not a sane person at
No,
that point.
no. So I don't know. I I get it. There are things to empathize with about these people, but at the same time, I'm not with your friend. I'm enjoying the crap out of
I
this
am
show.
too.
I
I am
love
too.
this
Yeah,
show, and I do like all of the characters who are remaining on the show. I kind of get, but
it's fun.
I don't forget at the forefront that what we're really talking about is a small group of emotionally stunted people
Yeah,
squabbling over how to split the control of billions of dollars. That's really what it is.
one of the fun things of the show is you like to think, well, I wouldn't be that way if I had all
Oh,
this
for
power. You
sure,
know what I mean?
for
But
sure, of
none of us
course.
really know.
I don't.
None.
I've never had that kind of money or power.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We like to think that we would be good people in that situation, but at the same time, when you have that amount of power, you don't know what it's going to do to you.
sure.
So, I mean, in many ways, now I was going to say they're not to blame. They are completely
No,
to
they're to
blame.
blame.
They are unchecked children.
Yeah, they are
Yeah,
they are adults who cannot. It's kind of like on the last show we were watching. They just can't police themselves
they cannot. They
at
cannot.
all. They can't. Um, and I think that this season the big moment of that was when they were meeting with Mathis
Matson.
Matson, sorry, my brain was off there for a second.
Me too. I
The two
stumbled
the
on my
two
words.
sons there, right?
Yeah,
When Kendall and Roman were there, they decided to blow up the deal because of an insult to the dad, and that's it, right? It was personal. It wasn't business. It was emotional. It was
yeah.
irresponsible.
Called him the c word. It was.
Yeah,
He had a meltdown.
yeah, it was a complete meltdown. It
Yeah,
was like you are not healthy people. You are not in control of yourselves, and your best bet would be to take Matson's money and walk away.
and it's tearing them apart.
It is. It is.
They literally have a cold war going on between the siblings. It's in many
And they
ways
always have.
that's what I mean. When the show's coming to a boiling point, it is becoming full blown tragedy. It's going to end
For
with
sure.
them probably not being close like they were. I don't see this boding well. I don't see this having a happy ending.
I don't feel like they were ever really that close. They've been together at moment, but they've been tighter
At
at
the end
some
of
moments
season
than others.
three,
Right. They were
yeah,
close there because they had a common enemy, their dad.
yeah, yeah,
Well, they've always had that common enemy. It's the first time they all
yeah.
accepted he was their common enemy.
And
Um,
in some ways, that was kind of healthy of them
oh
to
no, it really
recognize
was.
that.
It was the one time that one of them wasn't trying to get favor with dad over the others,
Yeah,
which is always kind of gross to watch.
yeah,
Anyway, from a personal behavior standpoint, not on the show because the show's been great to watch.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. I expect this show to end
Sad.
sadly. I don't expect anybody to be any of our main characters at all,
Yeah,
or even the supporting ones, to really be happy with the resolution of the show when it's done. No one's gonna win this.
and even if they do end up on top, it's not going to be good.
No,
They're just going to be three Logans. There'd be three of them in the
yeah,
world. You
it's
know?
gonna be kind of like Godfather 2,
Yeah,
where yeah, Michael's on top. Yeah, he wins,
yeah.
but he's sitting on a park bench alone
That's kind of how the
and
season
and
began with Logan.
alienated. Yeah, it's gonna
Logan was
be
walking through Central Park by himself.
exactly just pure alienation. No, whoever even wins isn't going to be happy.
You know,
Do you want to welcome some new Patreon subscribers for the last few days, guys? So it's the third time I tried to say this one. Yorozuya,
better
sorry,
every time.
and Don Parnell, hopefully. Welcome, guys. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
You guys are the best.
You are.
If you're watching us on YouTube, welcome to our channel.
I,
If you don't mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below. Give us your Succession predictions. If you've seen the show,
not,
that's cheating. Don't
yeah,
tell us if
don't.
you've seen it.
I don't want predictions because it's going to be people like I know how it ends and blah. Yeah,
If you're a first time watcher, then that's different. But yeah, if you've seen the show, no cheating, please. Don't ruin this for us
yeah,
because we're so close to the finish line.
yeah.
But if you also want to subscribe, that way you can stay up to date with all the new episodes we have coming your way. It's not just Succession over here. We've got a ton of great shows: Mad Men, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We finished Fleabag. We are starting a new show here pretty soon, Marvelous Miss Maisels. Keep an eye on that on YouTube. Lots of stuff, guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
check us out down below.
Absolutely. I'm interested in knowing kind of where you come down on empathy for the
Yeah,
characters on the show. That's my big question right now
comment
because
that instead of the predictions. I don't want
right.
to predict.
I'm because my and I'm not ashamed to say this. My feelings on the characters change
With
with
each episode.
because their behaviors and their growth and their self revelations and their guilt, all of that changes and it changes how I feel about them. You know what I mean?
It's only on this show you can completely loathe somebody one episode, and the next episode you can be completely behind them.
Yeah, you know what character I've been on that roller coaster with more than anybody on the show? Tom.
Yeah,
Tom is the
yeah.
one guy that I've swung from like really being like,
I
I
hate you.
really like this guy to, oh my God, somebody get rid
Yeah,
of him. You know,
I
like
know.
accidentally drop him out of a helicopter. You
He's
know,
just so likable. I mean, a lot of that comes down to performance too.
incredible for. I mean, all the cast is really really good. I hope Sarah Snook has a great career after
I do
after
too.
this show.
I do too.
I think Kieran Culkin has been underused throughout his career as
He's a
well.
revelation. He is
Yeah,
a revelation in
and
the show.
Jeremy Strong, of course, has been blowing up for a couple of years now.
He's going
He's
places.
oh for sure. I think that at some point he's going to win an Oscar.
I would hope so.
I really think that he's going to Jeremy Strong's going to be an Oscar winner at some point.
We wish all of them a full film career.
Yeah,
Truly.
they really are great because honestly, these characters where we are finding empathy
Yeah.
while they're also disgusting people, that as a performer is a tough line to walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're getting great direction and we're getting obviously great direction in writing, but we're getting performances where these people are able to be rounded,
Yeah.
nuanced, developed characters that we actually feel things for while also being detestable.
Yeah, to live in that headspace is not easy.
Unbelievable. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. For those who are watching on Patreon, we're going to begin episode 7 here.
Oh, could you please
Oh,
stop
it's a
buzzing
freak
around
out.
me?
Oh, yeah. I
You're
was
as
like, wait,
bad as
what?
my
Because at the
fucking
very beginning of
idiot
the last
kids.
episode, oh no, am I in the wrong
Sorry.
episode?
It'd be weird if we're
That's
Yeah.
doing
fine.
that every
That's
every
Valentine's
episode.
card.
It was nice to see Logan again, though.
No, it's, yeah.
As much as we hate him, we like to hear his little rants.
Yeah, I feel like this relationship's going to be important moving forward.
Well, how do you feel about Madsen?
Uh, I think he's aloof. I think he's a villain this season, and I feel that way about him. You know what I mean?
Okay. Do you think that he should buy and
Yeah.
just like relieve them of this burden?
Yeah, I mean, I get why he wants it and everything, but I do think that he's flippant.
Yeah.
He's self-important. You know, there's a lot to hate about
Oh,
him.
he's very douchey.
Yeah.
He's a villain with a point, though.
No, he is. He
Everything
hasn't been
he said has
wrong.
been correct. It
Yeah,
really has
no,
been,
he's
yeah.
never been wrong. He's just been a real D-bag about it.
Yeah, he's the new blood.
Yeah. Is this him trying to work on his marriage?
I think so.
It looks like he's taking a breakfast in bed.
He had a personal chef maker.
Oh yeah. There's no actual thought to this. See, that's why I can't stand Matt. He's right, but the way he does
He's
things.
such a
Yeah.
D-bag.
Oh, he is. And he's not wrong about any of that either. He just can't talk to people.
Yeah.
What's the joke though?
You, I guess. But it's just silly, honey. It's like, I love you, but you kill me.
Oh, that's harsh.
Scorpions do
Sting.
die to death. They kill each other
Yeah.
when they get in fights. Yeah.
That's a little on the nose, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Very on the nose.
Yeah.
Sophie doesn't want to go to school. She is freaked out about the election.
What do you mean? What?
They really are commentating on like the world today and the whole Trump situation and how racism is not hidden right now. It's
Right.
very out in the open.
Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of smart how they are addressing that.
Well,
Especially
I mean,
Mencken is the stand-in for Trump, basically. He's
Yeah.
like a smarter, evil, more cynical Trump, I guess.
Well, yeah, and obviously this news, his ATN or whatever it's called, is a stand-in for Fox News. Like that's been
Yes.
clear from the beginning.
Yeah.
Who also does a lot of, I mean, let's be honest, does a lot of racial dog whistling, which is what she's
That's what they're
accusing
referring
them
to.
of, right?
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah. So yeah, Kendall has to deal with that now. I mean, how is that going to affect their decision going forward? Because as far as I'm concerned, they are backing Mencken, correct?
Is the name Mencken?
Mencken,
Okay.
Jared Mencken. He was the guy that took the
Gotcha.
picture with
Right.
the shit that we took the picture with.
That we kind of knew was a racist from when we met him,
Yeah.
and that's the horse they decided to back.
Well, it's worse than that. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I'm getting the demographic that's going to help me win,
Right.
and he says things that are provocative just to
Oh,
win.
right.
You know? And
He's definitely the Trump stand-in for sure.
he is, and I don't know. We haven't seen the other candidate. They mentioned him several times, but I don't know. Going forward,
Right.
he might be president. He might not be.
Right. I think the bigger thing with that, obviously, though, was when Kendall felt pushed, he turned into Logan.
He did.
Oh boy, they are playing hardball.
Significant details could be very useful to me, to us.
If only they knew about the blood that he was sending to his Why don't they all say something? I mean, it's their dad's funeral, right?
Yeah.
But I guess if they're speaking to all these businesses and politicians out there, it's got to be someone who's competent.
Yeah. It's like a speech at this funeral can't just be a speech at a
No, it
funeral.
can't.
It's got to have weight to it.
Oh,
So
so
we
they're
can
gonna get
sell it
buddy
on a
with
real
the,
level
with the
without
candidates. Gotcha.
lobbyists and all the
Due process.
Which means what's his name that she was working for at the
That
beginning
stuff.
didn't
Yeah.
make it through
Gil?
the primary. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gil didn't make it through the primaries.
Yeah, sure, fine.
He was okay.
Yeah, right.
He
All right,
kinda
see you
seemed
tonight.
like a schmuck, honestly.
And she's really stirring the pot here the
She
other
really
way,
is,
isn't
man.
she? I mean, I don't blame her because her brothers have kind of cut her out of all the
No,
decision
for
making.
sure. But, like they deserve it.
Right.
This is the
But it is
game.
going to be messy. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if they want to play the game and be at this level of business, they have to like screw each other basically.
Oh yeah.
Gregory Hirsch, who has more information.
You're all fired.
He makes Greg fire them.
He does. Yeah.
Good morning.
Make Greg be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was like 30 or 40 people.
That's what we're talking about with Tom, right?
Yeah.
He's a villain. Let's not.
He is a villain.
We shouldn't forget they're
He,
all villains.
he was enjoying that.
Yeah.
spread some regulatory anxieties.
Yeah.
Okay, so
sure.
this is
Spread
not
those
the
surveillance
election,
capitalism
right?
heebie-jeebies.
I thought
Yeah.
it was. I thought it was
Just
election
don't let me
night.
get stuck
This
with the
is the
journal lobby
pre-election.
voters.
Oh, okay.
Come on, they're not.
Yeah. That's it. The left. He just described the left wing and the right wing in
Yeah.
slang terms because these guys do not care.
No,
The Roys do not care.
they don't have a political party, do they? They're on the side of money.
Careful what you say.
He plays this
Larry,
awkward
Mary, lovely,
speaker
lovely to
so
see you
well,
guys.
doesn't he?
Who else is here? Who's here?
Oh my God, Greg. He's a worm.
He is. I couldn't hang out with Greg.
I mean, he'd probably just like suck up to you and
Oh,
like,
for sure.
try to match your personality
He would, wouldn't he? He's
Yeah.
like Andy
on The
on
Office.
The Office. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a great
Andy
comparison.
Bernard. You just match your energy.
Bernard dog.
Yeah, sorry to break up the brains trust.
You said
Slim Reaper.
Yeah, that's funny.
Ooh,
Wow, and she got in bed with the wrong guy.
yes, she has.
No, it's criminal. It'd be crazy if the show ended with Shiv being in serious legal trouble with the SEC,
I mean, if she continues to go down this route,
right? You backed the wrong horse.
nope.
Yeah, you really
See ya.
blew it.
Roman.
Yeah, Roman really messed up there.
What is wrong with
You know, I just really do need to get some sleep. I really do. I'm sorry.
He's being
Can we just
insulted
leave it
in his
there?
home.
You're
Guys,
tired.
what
I
the hell
get
is
it.
wrong
You
with
keep
me?
on fucking saying, so yeah.
Are we watching a divorce happen in real time?
For sure. They're done.
I don't.
I
know.
don't think-
How do you come back from that?
Especially these two that are so insecure, they don't come back from that.
They just said the most horrible things you can
Yeah,
say to anybody
They
to each
did.
other.
They both went over lines there.
I'm a little on Tom's side.
Yeah,
He had some points.
he did. I mean,
But
she
he-
did too. They both
They,
did.
they both said, "Yeah, you're right."
But I kind of agree. Tom said things to Shiv that Shiv needed to face, and she lashed out. I'm not saying they're right or wrong because we know Shiv better than Tom.
We do.
Um, I just think we need massive therapy for everybody involved on this show. I'd let him do it. I don't think he's a bad choice to do it. He's the one that was really loved his dad.
He is, and you know we haven't really seen Roman talk in a public setting, so maybe
Right.
maybe he'll do all right.
Hasn't, has he?
I don't think he ever has once.
I-
This could be his big moment. You know, like how
The other
Kennedy
two,
won, you know?
if he has, I don't remember. I know the other two certainly have a lot.
Oh, Roman's always been the little brother.
Right.
You know, I can see a world. So we're so focused on the show of Ken versus Shiv. Really, I can see Roman being the one coming out of
Would
nowhere
not be surprised.
and
Yeah,
nabbing it because in many ways he's the most like his father.
right.
He just needs to grab the extra distance. Even
Right.
Jerry said, "I could have gotten you there."
Yeah,
Logan certainly saw it.
and Jerry does have Roman completely over a barrel, though.
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
Okay, the takeaway from this episode is these two. That was an insane performance on the,
Oh,
on the balcony.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
it's like I see why the Emmys are Emmy nomination. I just looked like 2 days ago. They both got Emmy nominations for this season.
You know, Tom said one of the greatest insults I've ever heard in my life. You're so transparent, I couldn't find you in a book.
Yeah, when she was like, "Did
That's
you read that in a book?
amazing.
You're too chance. You're so transparent. I couldn't find you in a book."
That's pretty good.
No, it was great. Yeah, I do want to you started there to talk about the performances of those two. I mean, as an actor, anytime you have a really big, I mean, we've seen it in a lot of the shows we're watching, right?
Yeah.
West Wing a lot, right?
Yeah.
Where you get the two conflict episodes where good actors can really sink their teeth into
Just
in that
let it
type of
rip.
tension and let it rip.
Yeah.
Those two have done as well as anybody I've ever seen do it because they got the anger, but also like the beneath the surface actual pain
Yeah.
and hurt of it. So that it was all like projecting anger but really feeling destroyed.
Well, ever since the end of season 3, we really haven't had a moment with the two of them to actually express how they feel.
No.
Because that's a pretty big moment. And like most of season 3 was them on the ropes,
Right.
and then it just kind of ended the way it did, and we just kind of left it. So I'm glad that we had this big emotional explosion.
Yeah, we did. It was a big emotional explosion.
It was. And they both have points. Like you're right. I mean, Shiv's biggest point being you took the last 6 months away of my dad.
Yeah, but I mean that's a crappy thing to
That was more pride. than
no, for
anything.
sure.
Yeah.
Did Tom know? Did anybody know that Logan was going to die? That's a
No.
when I was a kid, I went to get my driver's license. I was like 16, right? My mom said,
Sure.
and we got in an accident, right?
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "You getting your driver's license, and now our car's wrecked." I'm like, "Yeah, that's totally
That's what
my
happened.
fault,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. If I didn't need my driver's license, it's like, to me, it feels like the same thing. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
I know it seems silly, but that you think about that, like, is it really on Tom? Because it's not like it's Tom's fault Logan died. It's not like he knew he was going to die. You can't put that on Tom.
No, and the relationship with Logan was so complicated to where like it could have been anything
Right.
that pushed her away from him. And she's right. He is servile. Like he always has been. He says it himself. I'm here to serve. Here to serve.
And I don't think that she was wrong to point out the fact that Tom was always, we've known this, always asked what's in it for me. Every time something good was happening for Shiv, his concern was, and what do I get? What do I get? What do I get?
Well, he told her, he's like, I gave you endless approval.
He
Like,
did.
You're looking for this approval. Your husband. Like,
Right.
you
He
have
did.
nothing but my support. Sure, he wants something out of it, but at the
Right.
same time, I mean, give and take, right? I mean, like,
Sure.
he does give a lot to her. It is fair to be like, well, all right, what's in it for me in this
Well,
relationship?
right, and I see the impulse to side more with Tom because one, nothing he said was wrong,
No.
at all, and two,
He's not innocent. I don't want. I just
no,
want
yeah,
that
he's
to-
not innocent for sure, but two, we're watching an episode where Shiv is being so deceptive and underhanded that it's easy to be like to pile on her because let's face it, she's being awful
Yeah.
right now. She is. She is.
She
She
is
is.
being awful.
She's trying to undermine her family business to help Madsen out because she
She
wants
said
something
that.
out of it. Right.
Yeah.
To get something out of it for herself. She is like I'm screwing over my family to get something for me. So it's hard to be on her side. I'm not on her side. But I don't think anything she said to Tom was unfair either.
No, and look, I know we tend to pile on Shiv because she does things that
I
are
think we're
unsavory.
supposed to. I think in the writing we're supposed to.
We
and
do
and
like
Sarah
Shiv.
Snook gives such a great performance that she nails it. You know what I mean?
And you understand why she's doing these things, right?
Right.
She is ostensibly being pushed out by her brothers,
Right.
and
Sure. No.
so
Yeah, she is.
you understand the motive, right?
Yeah.
And even Ken, look, we've said it all about all these characters. Roman's terrible, Kendall's character, Siobhan's terrible. They're all awful people.
Greg's terrible. They're all awful.
and,
Yeah.
and now even Ken, man, he's even like one head, one crown.
Right. He's
like,
Loganing again.
We
Yeah.
were waiting for that to come. The beginning of the episode
Right.
with him and Rava. Everything I do is for my kids, making this world a safer place for them. Like
Right.
that is so Logan,
And it's also not true.
And what Tom said, I think the biggest thing that what Tom said was, endless approval is not enough because you're broken.
Right.
They're all broken.
They're all broken.
All
He's
these
right.
kids, man.
He's
Logan did a number on this family.
He's probably the first person to really tell any of the three of them that, and that's why it felt so good to hear because
Yeah.
he's completely right.
This was a big episode for other characters,
Yeah.
giving these kids insight to their psyches. Really, I mean, even Nate being like, Nate of all people being like, "I'm not Gil, you're not Logan. That's a good thing."
Right. And I think it's really great to see the fact that Madsen's all a house of cards.
Yeah.
Anyway, because it's
Yeah.
like, well, it seemed going into this episode like he is the like better for the state of the world kind of choice. Like, get it out of the or not the Logan, the Roy's hands because they're just a dysfunctional mess, and
It's,
I don't see a ray of sunshine at the end of it. But now it's like, wait, this guy's a fraud. He's
Yeah.
just a lie.
he's a lie.
He's a
got
criminal.
He's got his own set of dysfunction.
Yeah.
With Ebba.
Yeah, no, he's awful. This is the first time I felt like this season that's like maybe I'm on the side of the two brothers. Maybe
because that's the better option.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe
Yeah.
the Roys actually are the better option.
And they even said if they do a 50-50 split, they stand to lose a lot if he messes this up.
Oh, for sure.
If that comes out that,
No, it's going to. That's what she said.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, so what's going to happen?" Especially when his explanation of how it's getting out of it is like, "Well, we'll just when the deal happens, it'll all just get folded up because of the explosion of the news of the deal." I'm like,
No.
you think everyone's just going to ignore the fact that your whole company was built on fraud because you made this purchase happen ahead of
Isn't there
time?
something of what, 2 Indias?
He's living in a dream world.
He is.
So
Young, new blood. He essentially he thinks he's immortal basically because he can do whatever. He's got this far.
yeah, there's a lot of entitlement there, especially because it was nice that we got reminded this episode. He's been a fraud from the beginning. He didn't even come up with the technology to do this.
Yeah.
He packaged what he got handed.
Yeah.
So he's completely built on a lie, and now we know even his business is built on a lie. His money is built on a lie.
So I think things are looking up for the Roys then.
They are.
I don't know. We still have what 4 episodes left.
I think after what Tom just pulled, I think Shiv might be back in with her brothers because it looked like at the end there that like she just lost her only remaining emotional crutch, which was Tom.
Well, yeah, and you got to feel for Tom because it kind of seems like one way or another he's going.
No, Tom's going to be screwed at the end of this. There's no way Tom comes out in a good situation.
Literally, like if Madsen gets it, he's fired.
Right.
If the kids keep it, they're all set. Screw Tom.
Yeah.
So
it's done.
Tom's out, man, and you kind of feel for Tom a little bit. I mean, like, look, he played the game, and
Right.
he lost.
Right.
He
Well,
lost.
the one thing where I really agree with you solidly on where Shiv really grossed me out there in that fight because again I thought they were both making the right points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a terrible marriage because you're both terrible people. That's kind of where I was. But the idea that when Tom went outside is like you're walking around telling me when I'm fired, and she's like, I don't even want to talk about that. I want to talk about my problems instead. It's like, dude.
You're emasculating me in front of all these people in my home.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not even the fact. It's the fact that he's telling her like, here's how you're hurting me right now. And she's like, shut up. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about my feelings and have you reassure me instead. And it's like, so when he says you're selfish, I'm like, right there, yeah, she is. I mean, they both were, but right there, yeah, she really is.
We can spend an hour on everything that Tom has done wrong,
For sure.
but in this moment, why he
Yeah.
was upset.
No. What
Yeah.
kicked off the fight, he was completely in the right on. And especially when Shiv was really gross about it with, shut up, I don't really care.
Yeah.
That was all an act. Let's really talk about what's bothering me instead. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, man. That's not how people
not
do
cool.
people. Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
cool.
it's not cool. That's how you lose any affection that he had left for you.
And then she just attacks his background. You're servile. You're a hick.
Yeah, you're
your
a
mother
hick, you're
likes
poor,
me
you're-
more than you.
yeah,
and it's
you're-
like what?
Your family's poor, and like,
That doesn't feel good.
Right.
Doesn't sound right. And you know what? That's kind of why I'm taking Tom's side. I know you guys probably feel differently.
no. I think I'm kind of like it's like a 60-40 thing.
Yeah,
I-
that's a great analogy.
Because I do feel like everything Shiv said about Tom for the most part, as far as his behavior
true.
goes, is true also. That again, you're right, the dumb personal you're a hick attacks and all that was stupid.
Doing it for power and all that.
Right, yeah. But I do think she was right in that. I do think it was
She
all
was.
about power. I do think it was all about what he
said
can get
that.
for himself. Yeah. So I don't fault her for most of what she said, but
It's almost like when she said that he's realizing it, and so then he just went full blast with it.
yeah, I'd say, yeah.
Alrighty,
We'll catch you on the next one. We're almost done.
we'll see you guys.